Hello，大家好，我是 Martin，这是我老婆。
Hello，大家好，我是 Juicy。
因为我老婆的中文不好啊，所以今天我们讲英语了。大家今天看到我拿了一个笔记本啊，因为要问她一些问题，如果不拿笔记本的话，我怕记不住。前几天呢，我和那个不知道大家看过那个视频没有啊？我和那个阿俊喝酒，然后呢，他给我讲了被越南女人骗的那个故事。所以呢，想谈一谈这个中国人来越南娶越南老婆到底合不合适。那个视频只是听阿俊在讲啊，后期呢我还要做一个视频关于娶越南老婆的利与弊啊，到底该不该娶的这样一个视频。那个视频发布了以后啊，有一些朋友留言也提了一些问题啊，针对这些问题呢，我想来听一听我老婆的意见啊。我今天写了大概6个问题啊，所以我一个一个来问我老婆。好，下面是英文的，但是呢，大家可以看字幕，好吧？Okay, the first question. Is it easy for Chinese to find a wife in Vietnam? Do you think Vietnamese women like Chinese men or not?
So I have two questions here, right? The first one, what?
You just answer, do Vietnamese women like Chinese men or not? First.
I think the Vietnamese doesn't like Chinese, not only the women or the men.
So what is the reason?
Because Chinese and Vietnamese have some problem about what? About the sea, have it against, right?
So you mean is the government?
Yeah.
他刚才说的是海洋的领土主权的争端，所以呢，越南人对中国人的印象不好，他们不喜欢中国人。Okay, the second question. Somebody said that Vietnamese women will regard their own parents' family the most important, but the husband will be the second. Is that true?
In my opinion, that I'm not sure other, but just in my opinion, Vietnamese women, if they have their opinion, they will think which one is more important and which one they will give more priority for that things. For example, someone will choose their families is the most important, and the relationship between them and their husband not so well. So they will always think about their family because maybe they live far, live overseas. So they will want to come back to Vietnam if, just for example, if their parents ask them come back. But if someone thinks can balance between the husband and their family, so they will think which one is better for them and which one is the right thing they need to do at that moment. So I don't think this one correct.
Is correct.
Not correct.
Not correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So it depends, huh?
Okay.
It depends.
Stop a little bit. 故事1号。
不好意思啊，
不好意思。
小孩子老哭啊，不抱着不行，所以呢，抱着小孩子一起了。好的，刚才第2个问题呢，我老婆说啊，这个要看情况。如果说越南女人是以娘家为大的话，而且就算嫁到中国以后，会经常有很多人会跑回越南，那说明呢，这个因为是老公啊，可能不够好啊，所以呢，她在那边生活的不如意，会想念越南的家乡，所以就是这个问题。所以呢，第2个问题，越南女人是否以娘家为大，而老公是次要的，这个说法 不对。Okay, now the third one. Some people say that the cost of marrying a Vietnamese woman is cheaper than marrying a Chinese woman. But after marriage, the cost would be higher than not in China. How do you think about this?
What is the cost after marriage, you mean?
That means when married in China, you have to give much money to your wife's family, and you need to buy house, buy car. But in Vietnam, no such kind of requirement normally. But after marriage, the husband need to spend more money than not in China. That means, for example, the wife's family always ask for money from the husband. So, do you think, is it correct?
In my hometown, it's not correct. Because in the beginning, when you are married with Vietnamese woman, your family and Vietnamese woman family need to discuss in the beginning how much they have. If can see the couple not so rich, so can discuss how much need to give to the woman's family for prepare for the party at that wedding. But sometimes they are not rich. I just enough a few money around just give a few money, some money, 10 million or 20 million is enough if not rich. But they have more money, they want to give for the couple later have the money for living or to invest something to do some business for their life. So can give. That's it discussing in the beginning, and later after marriage. That's the couple life already. The family will not disturb anymore. So if they have money, they can live with the good life. If they don't have money, they will live the lower parents' life.
So you think this saying also not correct?
In my hometown, it's not correct. But I don't know another place. Yeah.
好，关于这个第三个问题，有的人说，娶越南老婆，首付少，但是后期的维护成本高，所以呢，我老婆说呢，在他们的家乡，这个说法也不成立，但是她不确定在其他地方是个什么情况。
And I also have some thing about this thing. After the marriage, if the couple is very difficult in that moment, maybe the woman families will support them. Yeah, if they have the money, if their family have the money, they don't care about the money too much. They care about the happiness of the couple more.
OK， 老婆刚才补充说呢，她听说呢有一些地方呢，有一些那个家庭，如果这一对新人他们的生活很困难，女方的父母家庭呢，相反呢还会资助他们，给他们钱去让他们做生意，或者是帮助他们的生活。Okay, the fourth question. Many people said that Vietnamese wife come to China. So many of them will run away and come back to Vietnam. I remember just now you said for the second question, you said that if the Chinese husband is not good, the Vietnamese wife will run away and come back to Vietnam. So this one is a separate question. I still want to listen to your opinion.
It still depends because I read so many news about Vietnamese women after marriage in China will got so many problems in China with their families with the husband family or with her husband, so will come back Vietnam. For example, someone be beaten too much. I don't know why. Maybe because the Chinese men bought the wife from Vietnam, so they don't have love, so they have the most problem. So the couple need to come back at that issues, or they go there not illegal. They go there illegal, so nothing protect them. So I think that's the reason why have so many Chinese said that Vietnamese wife only way run away, only way go back Vietnam. I think have problem because they have their story. We cannot know what story they have, so cannot only talk one way like this.
好了，我老婆说这个呢，越南老婆嫁到中国以后啊，容易跑回来，这个呢也是要看情况的啊。大部分的跑回来的，他认为呢是因为他们在那边过得不好，有很大一部分是这个越南女人呢被卖到中国去当老婆，被卖到那边去，而且有很多呢是偷渡过去的啊，没有通过正规的途径，到中国，所以呢会出现了很多的问题啊，因为第一个呢他们也没有这个感情基础啊，第二个呢这个也是被骗过去了啊，被骗过去了，所以呢后面呢会有很多的问题。他说，经常有这个中国的老公啊，对这个越南老婆进行虐待呀，这些问题啊。当然了，这跟我们以前听到的这个不太一样啊。以前可能听到了一些中国男人讲的啊建议，我想大部分呢也是听别人讲的故事啊。也不是他们自己亲身经历的，所以呢，这么传来传去呢，可能认为这个越南老婆嫁到中国以后啊，大部分都喜欢跑掉，所以呢，这个说法呢，我老婆的意见呢，也是不成立的，这个要看那个双方的到底过得幸不幸福，过得好不好还有没有其他的一些什么这个原因在里面所以呢，我们。如果只是这样去定性越南老婆的话，那就不太准确还是要理性一点的看待这些问题不要太片面多听一些各个方面的意见，好吧？越南女人是不是都喜欢找他们的外国男朋友或者老公要钱？我只是说，这里指的是经常要钱的那种在我老婆的家乡，这个结婚呢，男方是否需要给彩礼然后办婚礼呢，男方需要出多少钱我老婆说呢，这个。